Schmelz, Fox News.
House Speaker Mike Johnson explains why the House will take a vote to formalize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden and foreign payments to the Biden family.
We've come to this impasse where following the facts where they lead is hitting a stone wall because the White House is impeding that investigation now.
While Hunter Biden is expected to appear in California court soon for his new indictment on federal tax evasion charges.
From a summer plea deal that would have ended Hunter Biden's legal troubles to a winter fight on multiple fronts. It's been quite a reversal of fortunes for the president's son. His legal team arguing in a Delaware court this week that his federal gun possession case should be dismissed because even if a judge balked at the previous plea agreement, prosecutors and Hunter Biden himself had signed it. And the lawyers accused prosecutors of bowing to political pressure to pursue charges against Hunter Biden, which is the same argument they continue to make over his West Coast legal fight, where he faces the most serious charges, 9 tax-related counts.
That's Fox's Jonathan Hunt reporting. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. The Fed creates and pops bubbles using interest rate manipulation. Why put the value of your IRA or 401k at their mercy? This is why I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To get a free info kit from Birch Gold, text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898. Do it now and protect your savings.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
The Israeli military says during a battle with Hamas, it recovered 2 more bodies of hostages, including a young woman kidnapped from the music festival on October 7th. Fox's Greg Palcott reports.
Israel pushing on with its war against Hamas. Intense ground combat reported against the militant pockets of resistance in the northern part of the Gaza Strip, as well as the terrorist stronghold in the south. Israel claims 7,000 militants have been killed and has announced that 105 of its soldiers have died since the fight started. Humanitarian conditions remain dire. The UN General Assembly voting on a resolution calling for a ceasefire amid new reports of possible talks between Israel and Hamas go-betweens regarding the release of more of the 137 now held by the terror group. In Ashkelon, Israel, Greg Palka, Fox News.
A White House official tells Fox the president will meet tomorrow at the White House with family members of Americans taken hostage by Hamas. The Harvard Corporation insists the university's embattled president will stay, even while losing donor support over her response to anti-Semitism.
The Harvard Corporation is reaffirming its support for University President Claudine Gay following her unwillingness during a congressional hearing to say calls for genocide of Jews violated the university's policies against bullying, harassment, or intimidation. Harvard is among a number of elite schools facing criticism for permitting speech and action promoting hatred of Jews, more so now following Hamas's terrorist attacks in Israel on October 7th. The corporation statement also addresses a recently made claim that Gay's earlier academic work contained plagiarized material, saying inadequate citations were made, but her writings didn't violate research policies. Eben Brown, Fox News.
November consumer price index numbers are out. Inflation is up 0.1%, not flat as expected at 3.1% for the year. On Wall Street, the Dow is now up 171.5 points. I'm Tom Rigotti. This is Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign and Banana. This Saturday, it's all quiet and the weather scene here for the foreseeable future. Some slight ups and downs on temperatures, but overall, seasonal readings to above average readings. Matter of fact, signs of another pretty steadfast warm-up in sight around here for next week. Sunshine, the rule for the day today. Southwest to west breezes and a high to about 43. Average high this time of the year right around 39. Increasing clouds for tonight down to 25 with a light northwest wind gusty early early on, though. For the day tomorrow, partly sunny skies, high temperatures up around 40 on northwest to north breezes. Again, on the light side, we'll dip down under a clear sky to 22 for tomorrow night. Thursday, sunshine and 47 for the weekend. Friday, partly sunny, 48. Saturday, up to 46. Could be a flurry early and a sprinkle late in the day, and nothing more. Best on the organized moisture remaining well south of even the I-64 corridor. Highs up near 50 on Sunday, 40s for Monday and Tuesday. For his TVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldgay.
Sticking with it and giving Barkley some holes.
Devontae Wyatt made that bad last stop, so he's back in there. 3rd down and 7. Play action from DeVito. End zone. Catch is made. Touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins. They're about 15, 16 yards short of the outside of field goal range. Forget it. Wan'Dale Robinson sets up the Giants as Tommy DeVito throws a beautiful pass and completes it for 32. Officially 37 yards. The hold, the kick, the win for the Giants. And Tommy DeVito and Brian Daboll. They've won 3 straight.
Hey, what's up? It's The Drive with Sam Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Derek Piper, Lante, Kyle Tosk. Those highlights courtesy of ESPN. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman on the call for former Illini quarterback Tommy DeVito's continued run. Monday Night Football, a
crazy
grand stage.
That was the only Monday night game on last night too,
I
right?
thought there was a doubleheader, but
I did too.
I was mistaken.
It's great that that was the only one on, and we just all got to watch DeVito pick up a win, and that's all that happened.
I'm
in
sorry,
the NFL.
Kyle. I'm sorry.
Those Titans.
Side note, Dolphins lose to the Titans in Miami.
Tommy touchdown. Tommy magic.
How crazy is this, man? How crazy that a guy that lost his job at Syracuse, had 1 year to prove himself at Illinois, and obviously won part of winning 8 games and really gave Illini fans their first taste of above-average quarterback play in the Big Ten in a long time, probably since Nathan Shieldhouse, at least in terms of a extended sample size. And now he's an undrafted free agent who, through injury to both Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, got to start with the Giants and has become a sensation in one of the biggest sporting markets out there. And they absolutely love him, and he's led them to 3 straight wins and beats the Packers last night, which I'm pretty happy about as well, just kind of as a side note. But it is incredible, this story, the magnitude of it, how much attention he's getting, and that this guy who was under center at Illinois last season is doing this in the NFL. I don't know what the long-term view of it is in terms of, is he going to be a starting quarterback? I think he's still got obviously a lot more to show, but I will say that it's obvious that New York fans love him. The Italian community loves him. I mean, Rick Pitino tweeted out today, hey,
he did?
We need some Italian magic in the Garden on Saturday. I'm offering you up courtside seats.
Oh, my
if you want to come out.
goodness.
So he is playing under the spotlight, playing well. The Packers took a late lead last night, but DeVito drove the Giants down the field, as you heard there, kicked the game-winning field goal, and just really, really cool for what's happened with Tommy, his family that's experiencing this, and his agent last night, which got a lot of screen time with the top. What do you call it? Is it a top hat?
Top hat, I think.
The suit, the chain. It's just fun. It's fun to see.
My advice to Tommy DeVito is soak it all in. Take everything in, because I really feel like this is his 15 minutes of fame. I don't mean to come and poo-poo on the party, right? But I don't see Tommy DeVito starting in the National Football League last year. But I think one thing it's done, Derek, I would certainly think, and even with New York, it has solidified a spot on an NFL team for a while, right? Even as the backup, if you're able to come in and do what he's been doing, and what's the old saying? A quarterback cares about one stat, and that's whether you win or lose, and they've won 3 straight with Tommy DeVito, and he did his Illinois magic last night, 17-21. I know Piper dreams about stuff like that.
Love it.
I mean, he only threw for 158 yards and a touchdown, but he got that taken care of, and then, of course, he ran for 71 yards on the ground. So, yeah, I just embrace it. And I think he is. I think his family is.
Of course. Yeah.
And I just think it's cool because it's one of those markets in New York where, we always say, we don't like the big markets and this and that. But when they're doing well, it just seems like it's more fun. And to have the Giants somewhat relevant when the Jets aren't, then I think it's pretty cool. And Tommy DeVito is a big, big reason for that. I think it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't think Giants fans are convincing themselves that they're good by any means.
Right.
But they're just enjoying the ride.
Yes.
It had been a lost season. They had a disastrous offensive line that got Daniel Jones killed. From the starting, the first opening night, would he take 8 sacks or 9 sacks in that game, whatever it was, something just crazy. But for him to kind of give them a reason to get excited, and that as wild as it is, maybe they're still somewhat in the playoff hunt. Mm-hmm. I know Kyle was mentioning before the show that they're maybe one of a couple of teams at 5-8 that still technically have a chance. Chicago Bears stand up.
Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, it's just been a fun ride. He's got the little, I don't even know how to describe it, the hand gesture thing, his little signature touchdown celebration, which is going crazy. And it's just one of those where you imagine, I bet he is soaking this all up and enjoying it, and especially his family. If you haven't read, shameless plug, if you haven't read Jeremy Warner's story, who caught up with his dad about Tommy Mania on Illini Inquirer, you're definitely going to want to do that. And he was very, very complimentary of Brett Bielema, of Illinois football, and how they really elevated him and did enough to revitalize his college career and put him in a position where he can then go and have success in the NFL. So you would hope that this is something that springboards Illinois' brand even more. Because, I mean, this has been an exciting year of the NFL to see what Devin Witherspoon's doing. And he had a Monday night game a couple of weeks ago or a month ago where, he was a highlight player and Joe Buck and Aikman were, salivating over him. And then you got Chase Brown just had a touchdown, a long 50-yard catch and run on Sunday for the Bengals, and Sidney Brown's playing for the Eagles, and Quan's in the league as well. So it's just a fun time for Illinois fans then to look to the next level and see familiar faces doing some things. So that's great.
It's funny. Did you forget how fast Chase Brown is? I mean, I guess
it's been a while since I'd seen it. Yeah,
right. I mean, I hadn't seen it in so long, and I hadn't forgotten what he was about. But he took that little screen pass, and it was like he was shot out of a cannon, and untouched almost. I think he maybe got touched by the last defender there, but he made a great move near the end zone. So I Googled how much does Tommy DeVito make, and it comes up DeVito carries a cap hit of $416,667 this year. That number moves to $915,024, which is his base salary for the year. It then says DeVito will earn a prorated salary of roughly $44,000 per week for every game he's on the team's active roster the rest of the season. Well, he's not going anywhere. So there you go.
I wouldn't think so. And probably making some money in endorsements.
Yeah, so kudos to all of you out there. Yeah, exactly. I bet he is. I mean, I bet he's taking advantage of a lot of that, like you're saying, a lot of those endorsements around that area. So I think listen, kudos to everybody out there making $44,000 a week. But Tommy DeVito has now joined you in that. So I welcomed him in.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I welcomed him in. I was like, congratulations for joining the club.
Kyle, since you didn't have another Monday night game to watch, what did you think of Tommy DeVito last night?
It was great to see. I did get to catch the end of that drive right in the middle of a complete implosion in the other game, but it was cool. No, it was really cool to see. It's just been fun to see a guy that we were all watching here at Illinois last year in the NFL actually having success. Like when he was thrown in there because of all the Giants injuries, my expectation was not that, he's going to win 3 games in a row. He's going to beat the Packers with a go-ahead drive on Monday night. I'm like, this is probably going to be a struggle. I don't even know how much they're going to throw with him or trust him, but he's been the best quarterback that the Giants. He's been better than the guy they paid $160 million to in the offseason, legitimately. In each of their starts, he's been the better player. That's
now, he
cool.
did have a really rough start early, right?
Yeah.
There were a couple that weren't very good, and then one of them was really bad. He threw for like 70 yards, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, because I was watching that game, and it was like I had to almost flip the channel because it looked bad. But, boy, he's really, since he's gained traction, he's really just stepped up. I asked you, Pipes, when I walked in, I'm like, who's the last Illinois quarterback to win a game in the NFL? And we both thought, well, is it Kurt Kittner? He's the last one to play in the NFL. And you looked it up left-handed and found out that he did indeed win a game with the Atlanta Falcons.
He did.
Ironically enough, in New York.
Yes, right. Yeah, at the Giants. You'd have to go back to November 9th of 2003. He made 4 starts for the Falcons when Mike Vick was injured.
Oh, wow.
And won one of those against the Giants. He went 9 for 23, only 65 yards passing, had a touchdown. So that was the only season that he got on the field and logged stats in his one-year career, essentially. Maybe he was a backup a year or so. I don't know how long he was actually in the league, but was able to get that win. So it had been 20 years.
That's crazy.
Since an Illinois quarterback had won a game as a starting quarterback in the NFL. So a long, long time. But yeah, to that point about DeVito, I know that he got subbed in that New York versus New York game, Giants and Jets, and it was a 13-10 overtime game. He was only 2 for 7 for -1 yards passing in that game. His first start on the road at Vegas, he threw for 175, good completion percentage, but threw for 2 interceptions. He had to go to Dallas and make a start. Threw for 86 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But the last 3 games, he beat Washington at Washington, threw for 3 touchdowns, nearly 300 yards to the air. He beat the Patriots, threw for 191 and a touchdown, no interceptions. And then last night, like you said, 17 for 21, 158, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 10 carries for 71 yards on the ground. He hasn't been turning it over either, which has been something that isn't super characteristic of rookie quarterbacks, especially those that are undrafted free agents. So credit to him. And he didn't get sacked last night, so maybe the offensive line is helping him out a little bit too. But
hence the 10 carries for 70.
Yeah, right.
That's probably him getting away from all of that. I mean, let's be honest. He's taken advantage of beating 3 pretty bad teams. But that said, well, although Green Bay was playing better. They were.
They just beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. So they were playing better. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's just fantastic. I'm not sure who New York closes with the last few. I mean, I know it's easy to look, and I am sitting in front of a computer, but the Giants, that is crazy. They're 5-8. Of course, the Eagles and Cowboys leading that division at 10-3. And your Bears 5-8, man.
Yeah,
you guys you'll be drafted like
hot.
28.
We won 2 in a row
here in a while.
That's fine. We got the Carolina pick. I'm not worried about it.
You do. Are you trading that or what?
I hope so.
Okay, that's one of those where we're gonna have Aaron Lemming on, right? When is he?
Is that tomorrow?
Is that tomorrow?
Yep.
Kyle. Okay, I have to send this stuff to
so
you.
3:30 tomorrow.
The Giants have at New Orleans, at Philly, and then they host the Rams and the Eagles to close out.
So they got the Eagles twice to close the year. That's not good. All right. Well, hey, we'll see. This is awesome. I'm just loving every second of this. And isn't it amazing that it's been such a difficult time for Illinois to get a quarterback in the NFL? But really, like you said to kind of start this, it's been a long time since Illinois had a quarterback like Tommy DeVito that was able to put up big numbers for you and help you win games. But you know, you go back to those days of like a Tony Eason, a Jack Trudeau, a Jeff George. You had a nice little run there of guys getting to the league and doing something when they got there, obviously. Eason was a quarterback that played in the Super Bowl against the Bears in '85. And, you know, obviously Jeff George did some good things as well. But then it's just been a long drought. And as good as Kurt Kittner was, you know, he just didn't really he was shorter, so he's not somebody that probably projected to the NFL, but I give him credit for being there a few years. So it's just boy, you think you need a quarterback, right? I mean,
I would say yes. Yes.
I think you need a quarterback if you're going to win, and obviously I think Illinois' got a good one with gosh dang it, why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? Luke Altmaier.
So on the note of Kittner, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
2 seasons with the Falcons, then he bounced around in 2004 between, I'm guessing this was training camps, Bengals, Giants, Patriots, and Steelers. Also, he was on practice squads for a couple of those. 2005, he was with the Chicago Bears, and then that was the end of his time there in the NFL. So about 3-year run.
That's
4-year run.
Not bad. But just, yeah.
It had been a long time since Illinois even had adequate college quarterback play.
Correct.
Like over a big enough sample size. Like Brandon Peters had his moments. Had the Michigan State game on the road, which was a big comeback win, and obviously he threw the ball well to Mator Bebe in that one. But for the most part, Peters was average at best, probably below average more often than not. Wes Lunt had 1 year where he was good, and then he was also a guy that he never took that next step after that, and someone hung on to the ball too long. You'd really have to go back to Shieldhouse.
Yeah. John Butcher was decent in college.
Butcher was decent.
But he transferred from Iowa, right?
He came in right after Kittner, right?
That's right. I think that's right.
Juice Williams. I mean,
Juice was really
let's
good.
not forget.
Is Juice the last one that you recruited and turned out to be good?
Shieldhouse.
Was Shieldhouse
after? Was after
Juice, okay. See, those things I get confused in my head. Yeah, so you go, gosh, I mean, even going back, like Wes Lunt had transferred in from, was it Oklahoma State?
Yep.
Butcher from Iowa, Altmaier from Ole Miss,
DeVito from Syracuse,
and just on and on and on and on. And it's like, it's been a while since you've just had a quarterback, and Nate Shieldhouse that came from the Kansas City area that came up and just absolutely, man, we need to recruit that area more. That was Brandon Lloyd in the Kansas City area. Yeah, he's from around that. And then Shieldhouse, right? Wasn't he from KC?
Yeah.
Can we get somebody down there to recruit that area? Because you're like, if those are your last two from there, you're batting 1,000 with Shieldhouse and Brandon Lloyd. Those are two really good football players that played here at Illinois.
Well, I think you'd also hope that DeVito being from Jersey, isn't that where Donovan Leary's from?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Hope that pans out at some point, although Luke Altmaier can be a longer-term starter because of the years of eligibility he has. And while you hope to have that answer solidified with him, I would think that as you go forward and try to recruit quarterbacks in further classes that you might use the Tommy DeVito example of, hey, look what he was able to do. Look what his family's saying about their experience at Illinois. And again, you hope that Luke is the guy and you have that shored up for a handful of seasons beyond this past one. But it's not bad to have an NFL example. We've talked about it on the basketball side. It had been way too long since Illinois even had someone to point to in the NBA.
Yeah.
Now you at least got Io, who's playing minutes for the Bulls, but prior to that, there was like a decade stretch where it was Myers Leonard and no one else.
That's unreal, isn't it? That is unreal that you just haven't. I mean, is Eddie Johnson the last guy to really play? I'm probably
Darren
forgetting.
Williams had a really
great
stretch.
I
obviously,
knew I'd be
part of an Olympic team at one point.
Yeah. So you had Darren, Nick Anderson, obviously.
Yep.
Gill played quite a bit. I was trying to think of somebody that really made an impact, but obviously Darren Williams did. Yeah, I knew I was skipping over some guys.
Eddie was awesome. So was Derek Harper.
Yep, and Harp was great too. You're right. Those are, it's been a while, right? And hopefully Terrence Shannon is the next guy to make that jump. I know we've jumped around here to basketball, but Terrence Shannon, I mean, I think you reported the other day that you saw his name on a draft board pretty high, I think, or did I just read
he's starting to get forecasted back in that first round range, which is something that was being talked about early last season, obviously, when he goes and knocks down 8 threes against UCLA. And there's a lot of national eyes on that Vegas tournament out there because it was a loaded field, and the way that he played, I remember, I think it was Fran Fraschilla did an interview with Jeremy, said, I mean, that looks like a bona fide first-round pick. Sam Vecini right now of The Athletic has him 25th on his big board for the upcoming draft. There's some others that have him in that late first-round type of range. So we'll see. That's a fortunate thing where – and this is kind of a bigger topic that I thought about tackling at one point, is that, without him and everybody else getting a free COVID year, like he doesn't even have the option to come back. So I think it plays both ways where – you feel bad for some of the guys that should be getting, quote unquote, their turn.
Right.
Because, Terrence has played 4 full years, now going on his 5th. And you even see it like in transfer portal recruiting, like Dylan Gabriel is going to go be the starting quarterback at Oregon, even though he's, this is going to be his 6th year in college, his 5th full season. But yeah, for Terrence, it's not like Illinois is the only beneficiary of getting a guy that's that established and experienced to come back for another year. But he's doing his thing, and yeah, I mean, right now, the way he's playing right now, he looks like he belongs on a NBA court for sure.
It's interesting too because obviously from Illinois, if he makes it to the NBA, but also had the Texas Tech under that. I was just looking at Brandon Podziemski just to kind of see where he's at this season.
He's playing some minutes.
So 16 games, he's averaging 19 minutes a game, 7 points, a rebound, and 3 assists for Golden State. So that's not bad. Oh, no, wait.
Moments.
Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing when it said assists. My bad on that. Well, he's, 2 assists a game. So,
Illini fans will take some satisfaction in this. I was reading through. So I've been on the Michigan message boards a decent amount recently because of the Juwan Howard stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to see what's being said by certain insiders or just the fan reaction to it. And it pivoted as you go through the thread. And you can go down rabbit holes on message boards. and then you kind of run out of news, and then it just pivots to different tangents and whatnot. And then someone brought up, oh, yeah, and Terrence Shannon Jr., how nice that would have been if our academic side didn't screw us on that, and he would have been in Ann Arbor. So it reminded me of that was a nice break for Illinois, where Michigan looked to be trending towards landing that guy, and instead of facing him in the Big Ten for potentially 2 years, you've had him while Michigan has floundered, and
that's big. Maybe
Juwan's on his way out at some point.
Yeah, it's weird what's going on there, but I think Terrence made the right decision. You think?
I mean, he's been fantastic. He was a first-teamer all last year, and he's developed for sure. He didn't make a bad decision by going to Illinois by any means.
Right.
Like, would he have done well at Michigan last year?
I'm guessing
Probably.
He would have. Yeah.
But I think that he made a good choice, and he's thriving right now.
Ayo, by the way, I checked this 22 games. He's started 2. He's averaging about 19 minutes a game, 6 points. Let's see, rebounding wise, he's averaging about 2 a game and 2 assists. So
it was a weird stat line for him last night.
Don't look at his stat line from last night. Just say that.
Yeah, there's like a meme of Tony Snell at one point played like 30 minutes in a game, didn't register a point or rebound, and it's nothing. So people use that as like I don't know, to show that someone's not doing anything. Ayo last night, 26 minutes. He started. He didn't record any kind of stat. No points, no rebounds, no assists, unfortunately. But
in 26 minutes?
Yeah, and the game went to overtime.
That would be hard to do.
You would think.
You can't luck into a rebound?
Yeah, I mean that, or accidentally just throw it to a guy on the perimeter and he hits a 3 for an assist.
Right.
That would be really hard to do.
And I didn't watch the game or anything. I didn't see him dogging it in terms of not going after a rebound or anything. And don't rely on me, and not that we're going to try to throw out any Ayo slander or anything like that. But
he's been playing well overall. Yeah, during this last stretch, they've had some injuries. He started a lot.
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed watching some Bulls basketball that doesn't involve Zach LaVine. It's almost like the team is more palatable at times,
more connected. It still blows my flippin' mind that Brandon Podziemski is now basically has a little bit better stats than Ayo Dosunmu in the NBA. And if you would have told me Ayo's junior year with Brandon on the bench, if you would have said, Lon, 2 of these guys are going to play in the NBA and one of them will be better than Ayo. He's not better. You know what I'm saying? He will have stats comparable and or if not a little bit better at a certain point than Ayo. And I would have been like,
Yeah.
I wonder how far I'd have to go down before I would have said Brandon Podziemski. Maybe to the bottom?
If I gave you, if we rewind back and say, all right, between Ayo, Kofi, and Brandon Podziemski, one is going to be a lottery pick, right? Was he a lottery pick? He's a first-round pick.
One's a first-round.
One's a first-round pick. One's a second-round pick who will be like a off-the-bench guy. He starts some, comes off the bench. I mean, obviously the first-round pick is coming off the bench as well. And one's playing in Japan.
Oh.
You'd probably get that order wrong if you're trying to answer that a few years ago.
You may have gotten Kofi right only because we know how big men.
Yeah.
And you said it the other day. That blew my mind when you had said who Tennessee had battled already in terms of big men this season. What was it, Bocott?
Well, they went Edey, then Dickinson, then Bacot.
Or Bacot. I'm sorry, I said Bocott. I mean, think of those three guys and how good they are in college basketball. And part of the reason is because they're still in college basketball because they don't have a place to go.
It's true.
I mean, I would think Bacot would be athletic enough to be able to land on an NBA team. I mean, that guy walks onto the court with 10 rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that year that they played for the national championship,
he was
like 20 a game, it seemed like, rebounds. I'm like, good Lord. So I would think that he would have that ability. And then I watched like Zach Edey up in Toronto the other day or in Canada. Are the Raptors still around? Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you take a chance like a second-round pick on Zach Edey and bring him back home? Please, just get him out of the Big Ten.
I can't believe that he might be back next year for a 5th season of terrorizing us.
He could be back.
He probably will.
And he could win 3 straight Player of the Year.
I was going to say, yeah, he could win 3.
That'd be the first person ever to do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as there
would never be another one because once you get through another year or so, then the COVID year is gone, and you'll never see 5 full years of guys playing again.
I mean, if somebody like Carmelo was he Player of the Year as a freshman? He led Syracuse to the national title, right? But there's no way he's hanging around 3 years to win that.
No, he only played 1 year.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you have anybody as a freshman that wins Player of the Year or is good enough to win that, they're not going to be around for 2 more years. I can promise you that. Maybe 1, but that's highly doubtful.
I got to pull up this list and see if anyone's even won it twice. I'm sure they have.
I was wondering if my guy Pistol Pete back in the day.
Let's see here.
How about Glenn? How about Big Dog?
Big Dog Robinson?
Yeah.
There was...
He may not even have won it once.
Do we have any back-to-backs here?
We're talking Player of the Year. And
Ralph Sampson.
82
and 83, National Player of the Year.
Except for that Chaminade team that beat him.
Bill Walton. Wow, Bill Walton 3 years in a row.
Oh, he did?
Seriously?
Okay. That's back when you couldn't even dunk.
The Naismith Award winner in 72, 73, and 74 was Bill Walton.
Quite the quandary. He is a weird dude.
You know what's funny is
I can't tell if he's weird or if I want to live his life.
Well, you might.
I mean, he wears flips.
He's happy
he's super happy.
He's in the best of moods.
I think there's help with that.
I would. That's what he's giving off. It's funny. Was he just hiding this the whole time? Maybe not. I don't remember him as a player, obviously, but I would go back and watch some of the NBA finals in the 90s, and he'd be on the calls with Bob Costas or whoever was doing it at the time, and he sounded normal, and it was weird.
I think he's done a lot of damage to himself.
Since then?
Yeah. He was probably doing damage at that point, but sounding normal. If that makes sense?
Gotcha. Yep.
I think he's always enjoyed that kind of lifestyle. The California lifestyle, the surfer boy kind of,
If you want to look at Associated Press Players of the Year, Jerry Lucas won it twice, back-to-back years, 61, 62.
Ohio State, right?
Yeah. Lou Alcindor.
Yeah.
Won it twice. There was a gap in between there. He won it in 67 and then in 69.
Interesting.
Pistol Pete Maravich, 69 and 70.
Okay.
For the Oscar Robertson. Oh, that's the point guard of the year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Pistol Pete, man, his stats. You talk about ridiculous. Just ridiculous stats.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's a chance that Zach Edey will be a 3-timer.
Wow.
And I'm shocked that Bill Walton, that we've seen it before.
I know.
How has that happened?
I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to bring up Pistol Pete's stats. Did you
got
bring him up?
I got him. His 3 years at LSU, his point per game totals, 43.8, 44.2, and 44.5.
He's averaging 45 a game. A game.
To go along with 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
That is unreal. Pistol Pete.
Good call by 217. Bob Cousy's the point guard award.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Duh. Oscar Robertson was like the triple-double machine, right? He averaged a triple-double.
Well, the Oscar Robertson Trophy is given out to the most outstanding men's college basketball player by the Basketball Writers Association. So that is the Player of the Year award, just by a different outlet. Can I look up Bill Walton's stats here real quick? How did he win 3 straight National Player of the Year? So he didn't play as a freshman. As a sophomore, 21 and 15. Junior, 21 and 17. And then as a senior, 20 and 15. Really fell off there as a senior.
He put up some Kofi numbers. I mean, that's
crazy.
Double digits in both rebounding and scoring.
2 national titles.
Yeah, 2 natties. Well, heck, then they won like 10 in a row, right, under John Wooden during that stretch. Maxwell said, don't forget Kendrick Nunn. I forgot that he had a little stretch in the NBA.
He did.
I totally forgot about it.
I don't know that Kendrick's claiming Illinois.
Right.
All of that, obviously.
Where did he go, to Oakland?
Oakland.
Ken Norman, yep, it's a good call. Scott's the Snake. He was really good. Really, really, really good. Yeah, that's a great point. Anthony, a Muhammad listener, and a 309. He did it. Oh, and Sal. Sorry. All 4 of them. He did it without a three-point line. He averaged 45 a game, and he was an outside shooter. So this isn't Bill Walton right around the rim all day. This is Pistol Pete shooting from 25 out. Well, not 25 out, but 25 in maybe.
Sure.
And doing that without a three-point line. It still blows my mind. If I ever want to tell people how old I am and really get it through to them, and if it's someone that is familiar with sports, like Kyle, for instance, I would say to you that I spent 3 years in high school basketball without a three-point line. I mean, if that doesn't make me sound archaic, like what? I'm like, oh, yeah, my senior year was the very first year Illinois high school had a three-point line. Is that crazy?
That does seem insane, honestly.
And now,
not to make you feel older.
No. Believe me, it's fine.
Maxwell on the U of I Atlanta League text line. What was it like watching Babe Ruth, Lon?
I love drinking with him after the game. I know that. Eating that steak and wow. Well, yeah, that's true, Joe. I don't think freshmen could play. In other words, like Bill Walton his freshman year couldn't play. And I know during his reign there with he and Jabbar or Lou Alcindor, they couldn't dunk for like 2 years. They outlawed dunking in college basketball.
That's right.
Which is just crazy to think. That's just crazy. What was it like watching Babe Ruth play? Come on, dang it. That would have been cool, though, wouldn't it? We did that one time. I told you that. When we first started this show, one of the topics that was given to us was, or we thought of it one day. We just said, if you could go back in time and watch one player, like, that you didn't get a chance to see, like Bob Gibson, Stan Musial, like who would it be? Like Babe Ruth? Would it be that? Of course, Michael Jordan, he had a hangnail in his toe and couldn't play the day I was going to see him. Yeah, if you could go back and that was pretty cool. We had a lot of cool answers for that.
Mentioning freshmen not playing, I remember because Kenny Battle had just gotten inducted this past fall into the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame, and he said the reason that he went to Northern, it obviously wasn't a rule, but it was still something that Lou Henson was doing. He said that he wasn't going to play him as a freshman.
Oh, really? I never heard that.
So that was a big thing that swung him to go to NIU. And is this correct? 'Cause I'm looking up on College Reference where we get a lot of these stats. Did Nick Anderson come to Illinois in his freshman year, just redshirted, didn't play? Because they list him as his stats playing his sophomore year and his junior year, and he did not play. Did he not play as a freshman?
Gosh, I thought he did. Maybe not. I can't remember that far back, Derek. You can't allow me. Remember,
my fault for putting you on the
line.
spot there.
Yeah. I could swear. I knew he left after his junior year, but I could swear he played as a freshman, but maybe not. Wow.
Let me effort this.
Yeah, you effort that. Wade sent in the Wilt Chamberlain 1968 season where he averaged 53 points a game, 32 rebounds, 14 assists, 24 blocks, 11 steals. That's a Cinco double. Quadruple? What is it? Trace
quadruple double?
Well, that would be 4.
That's 5,
there's
quintuple double.
Is that what it is?
Something like that.
I went with the Cinco. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Listener from Bahamas says Anderson was Prop 48. He only played 2 years. Not eligible.
Okay, good call. I know they had that bridge program for a long time. That
Frank Williams was one of those guys, right?
Prop 48. Wow, that's bringing back memories. When guys would come in and didn't have... See, Illinois could do that then, right? Because you could bring someone in. Now I don't think they allow them in.
Partial qualifiers.
Like admission and stuff won't allow them to even come to Illinois. So, but back then they had like this bridge program, if I'm saying that right. I know there's so many people out there that remember this stuff better than I do, but like there was something they could come in and not play for a year, but they could essentially focus on grades and get what they needed to get done so that by their sophomore year they could play. My buddy Don just sent Walton was 21 of 22 in the championship game in 1973, had 44 points.
Oh my!
How's that for a big game player?
Unbelievable.
Of course, they were all lay-ins, little finger roll lay-ins.
You got to stop it.
Yep, 21 of 22. Wow. Oh, Howard Griffith was a Prop 48. Is that right? Fred, our good old buddy Fred Barnaby.
That's right. Yeah. What's up, Fred?
Said Nick Anderson, Marcus Liberty were both Prop 48s. That's cool.
Well, if we don't catch a break, we'll be going till 3:48, which Kyle will not lag. We got to catch one of those. Appreciate everybody weighing in on the U of I Atlanta League text line. Continue to hit us up, 217-359-2255. It is The Drive.
Merle Norman brings sparkle and awe with the Winter Wonders gift collection. Every day is a beautiful new gift with the first ever 12 Days to Beauty Advent Calendar. For your favorite gloss lover, the Dreamy Lip Set comes with a collector's cosmetic bag. For skin enthusiasts, the Goodnight Skin Set features deluxe sizes of anti-aging complex night cream and eye cream. Shop limited edition gifts while supplies last. 706 West Market View Drive in Champaign for Merle Norman.
You moved into your new home using 2 men in a truck. The garage was clean. Then,
I love the new recliner. What are we going to do with this old one?
Put it in the garage for now.
over time, this cycle continued.
Garage for now. Put it in the garage for now. Put it in the garage for now. Put it in the garage for now.
It happens. You got junk. Call 2 Men in a Truck to get rid of all your junk. Residential or commercial, 2 Men in a Truck has a solution for your junk removal. Contact them at 2menchampagne.com.
2 Men in a Truck.
Illini fans, gear up to support your Fighting Illini men's and women's basketball team this year at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. From buy one, get one free basketball t-shirts to official NIL merchandise, Game Day Spirit has everything you need to support your Fighting Illini. Shop with them in store at the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, 6th and Green in Campus Town, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Reach your savings goals. Busey Bank CD specials can help. Watch your money grow with competitive rates and offers. Visit Busey.com/CD rates. Visit your local service center or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
It's the Pia's Christmas Party, and it's happening at 1609 West Springfield Avenue, Thursday between 5:30 and 9, and then Friday, December 15th from 7 to 10 a.m. Gifts for all. Try to win some holiday cash with J&J Ventures, Coors Light, Captain Morgan, and Miller Lite. Pia's has a free holiday food spread waiting for you, and of course, great drink specials. The staff at Pia's says, Merry Christmas.
I've got to clean out this garage. Let's see. What's the cheapest and easiest dumpster service in our area?
Here's what I found. The doggy bag.
Think she's broken. I'm not looking for takeout. Siri, try again.
The doggy bag from Bulldog Disposal in Mahomet.
Doggy bag? What's that?
If you got junk that needs to go, but you don't want the hassle of having an enormous dumpster delivered, grab a doggy bag, keep it as long as you need. They'll come take it away. For more information, just visit BulldoggyBag.com.
That's BulldoggyBag.com.
Local, personal, trusted. Hi, this is Todd Durakan with First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, and we've been serving Champaign County since 1908. Our institution is safe, strong, and stable. We operate on a foundation of responsible and sound practices, and you can rest easy knowing we're your bank. Rated 5-star superior by Bauer Financial Inc., fast, friendly, and local, with local loan decisions and underwriting. If you're not already banking with us, give us a try, and we think you'll love it here. First Federal Savings Bank, 356bank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS 435120.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Back on the drive with Sam Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Fred says Walton's 21 for 22 were not all layups. Hit some jumpers from the free throw line and in.
Nice.
So,
okay,
not just all at the rim, but then again, regardless of where he's at, you gotta stop that dude.
That's pretty impressive. 21 out of 22. At the break, I don't know why I thought of Roger McClendon, who played for Centennial, and I was telling you that this was 1984. Like, he graduated in 83, I think, from Centennial. It was his last year. I would have been like 13 or 12. And I remember when he went to Cincinnati, I remember looking at the News Gazette one day, and I'm like, why wouldn't he go to Illinois? Like, that was probably the first guy that I had this thought of, why didn't he just go to Illinois? And I wonder if anybody out there, I'm sure somebody out there knows why he went to Cincinnati instead of coming to the University of Illinois. But
did they try to get him? That's one thing I wonder.
That's the thing. He was he's 6'4" guard from Champaign. He played in the 84 McDonald's All-American game.
Well, then I would hope they tried.
I would think, right? And he's he's number 2 all-time leading scorer in Cincinnati Bearcats history. And how about this? Instead of going on to play basketball after college, he pursued a career in engineering. He would graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Computer and Electrical Engineering and has worked for Yum Brands as the Chief Sustainability Officer. So he's done really well. He would be a cool dude to have on. And we could ask him, why didn't you go to Illinois?
Yeah, well, the text line's filling us in.
Oh, it
says,
is.
Longtime Lou Henson assistant Tony Yates became the head coach at Cincinnati and got him to go to Cincy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Lance, Mike, and Fred all firing it out. Wow. I remember Tony Yates. I remember that name.
So his first year would have been 84, 85, right, in college?
Yeah, he played 84 through 88.
It's a pretty good Illinois team at the time.
Right.
In 84, Doug Altenberger, Ephraim Winters, Bruce Douglas, Ken Norman, George Montgomery.
That team was real good. George Montgomery, man. You talk about a guy you could not move on the post. Ephraim Winters played with a stick of gum in his sock. That's a true story.
He never used it, or
I don't know.
It was there for.
I don't even know why. I don't remember why he did that.
Huh.
But that was always the word that Ephraim Winters put a stick of like spearmint gum in his sock. You know, back then we put our socks up as high as you could. Like if you could get socks to your kneecap when I was like in junior high, that was the coolest thing. And you'd get them with like the two red, like, you know, you'd have the red stripes or whatever on them that went like as a circle around your leg. Oh, yeah, that was cool then. Now I can't, like, I just wear little tiny golf socks, right? I can't stand socks now.
You know what's interesting? Bringing up that 84-85 team, Glenn Blackwell was on that team. He's a freshman guard.
Yep.
His son is playing for the Badgers as a freshman and maybe the most productive freshman in the Big Ten so far, John Blackwell. He played at Brother Rice. I think that, so it lists his city, Bloomfield Hills in Michigan. So I'm guessing that might be Brother Rice in Michigan. But John Blackwell is a guy that admittedly I didn't know. I've been asked this on our message board before. I didn't really know much about him at all.
Smooth lefty, if I'm remembering
Glenn Blackwell?
right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Number 21.
But he's been a nice piece off the bench for Wisconsin so far. I mean, he's averaging 10 points a game, 3.5 boards per game. He is shooting, what's he shooting on the year? He's been like a double-figure scorer quite a bit off the bench, playing 18 minutes a game, shooting 50% from the field. He's been a nice piece for them.
That's
son
so cool.
of a former Illini.
Yeah, Glenn Blackwell.
Just had 17 at Tucson, although Arizona just smacked Wisconsin over the weekend, 98-73. I do want to, at some point during the show, kind of talk about we mentioned yesterday Illinois versus Tennessee, gave some thoughts there, but just kind of the updated picture in the Big Ten and what that's looking like. And I'll tell you now, guys, kind of as a little bit of a tease, I'm a little worried. I think a lot of people taking enjoyment out of some teams struggling, like Michigan State, Iowa, and whatnot. I don't necessarily think that's all good for Illinois as far as your resume goes.
Yes.
And I'll break that down more as we go along.
Well, I think that made that Florida Atlantic win ultra important, right? Because you needed to get a, if you will, top 10 kind of win. I think Florida Atlantic ends up in the top 10. I would assume in their conference that they'll do some damage, right?
Sure, yeah.
So
whether they get enough, I mean, their record's going to be probably pretty startling.
Yeah.
But I wonder, like, they should be a top 15 team. I'd be pretty confident saying that.
I would agree. So it'll be interesting to see that and see, like, that might be your best win come the end of the year, unless you would beat Purdue.
Right.
Wisconsin is doing some things, though, like you mentioned.
They're playing well.
Well, we can hit on that next hour. How about
Let's do that. I want to tackle that for sure.
Glenn Blackwell from Highland Park, Michigan, 6'4", 180. From Highland Park, Michigan, number 21. That's funny that I remember, the first thing I remember about Glenn Blackwell was that he wore 21. Is that crazy that how your mind works?
Good memory.
Yeah, well, I don't remember anything else. I mean, that's all I got right there.
Mike mentions on the U of I Atlantic text line, Blackwell and Anthony Welch were two of the few recruits Henson got out of Michigan.
Anthony Welch was 44, I think, number 44. He was skinny. He was like Mike Davis skinny.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Bill says Illinois fans should not count on the Big Ten getting 7 to 8 teams in the NCAA tournament. The conference isn't good. I think 8 is going to be really, really hard to swing. It might only be 6.
Wow. Out of 14?
Yeah.
Next year we'll have 18. That's going to be weird, wasn't it? That's going to be so weird. Muhammad listener said it was a gum wrapper. It was empty that Ephraim put in his sock. I always thought it was actually full. Or in other words, had a piece of gum in it. I wonder why he did that.
Good to know. Good to know. Let's catch one more break and wrap up this hour after that. Hit us up, 217-359-2255 on the U of I Atlanta Link text line. This is The Drive.
So when was the last time you saw a best deal guarantee?
You mean a promise that actually held up?
Right.
That some unknown online entity didn't want you to log in and download a code and then re-verify as you join some club?
Drives you nuts, I know.
And then once you purchase that set of steak knives...
Well, Dick Van Dyke Appliance World is a lot simpler. You find a verified great deal and they beat it. Just show them the deal you saw. A newspaper clipping or the online cart price will do, and then you're good.
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, it's one of those instances where you see a best deal guarantee and...
you get the best deal.
This is Dennis Rieken, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases. Whether it's a GE, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, Bosch, or any of our 30 brands, I guarantee we will beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
In an ever-changing real estate market, it is so important to work with experienced agents like Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor teams at Taylor Realty Associates. They have the knowledge and expertise to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Trust the experience and success of Russ and Nick Taylor with the Taylor team at Taylor Realty Associates. Give them a call today at 217-355-0700 or visit them online at taylorboys.com. That's taylorboys.com.
Three chances, folks. 3 chances is what it took to the question of the 217. Can Lon remember Luke Altmaier's number? He got it on the third try.
Third time's the charm.
I went 11, and then I went 9.
No, you went 11 and then 4.
4, yeah. I don't know that I would have gotten it on the third time except Kyle helped.
I jumped in, yeah.
That's weird.
Should have just let him continue to throw guesses out.
Johnny Newton was 4.
That's right, yep.
And who's 11?
D. Brown.
Well, okay.
I would assume.
How about on the football team? Is that like
Is there an 11?
Sean Miller or something?
I could look it up.
Who's no longer with us?
If we...
that didn't sound right. No longer with Illinois.
If we polled Illini fans and we said, who is number 11, who would get more responses? I would assume it were D. Brown.
Oh, D. Brown.
I mean, if you did it on campus, you know that it'd be Io.
It'd be D. Brown, I think.
Yeah.
I think D. Brown.
That would be my answer as well.
D was...
Sorry, Io. I love you.
How about number 22? Who would you say?
Is that Kwan Garris?
That was, yep. Lucas Johnson. Doug Altenberger was 22. I think it'd be kind of cool to go through sometime all the numbers.
Yeah.
Like your favorite number 4 or, things like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Who would be a number 4? I know one. Luther Head.
Luther, yeah. He'd probably be your favorite.
But like to know that you have a number of at least 2 guys, very prominent players with the same number, and which response you'd give. That'd be an interesting one.
That would be. I think D would have to capture that, right? Even though you're kind of creeping away from when he played here, obviously. Yeah. D. Brown, baby. Who's 11 now? Anybody?
Isn't it Moretti, or is he not?
Is it Moretti? They need to retire that.
That's kind of gutsy there, Nico.
Maybe I'm wrong. Why do I feel like he is?
I think you might be right.
I think he's in over.
Yes, Nico Moretti
over his skis.
Number 11.
He probably didn't know anything different. He's like, I'll take 11. Oh, really?
Big shoes to fill right there, man. big shoes to fill.
I'm anxious to go through some of the Big Ten next hour.
Yes, let's do. I'm excited for that.
Is Nebraska real?
They lost to Minnesota.
Oh, wow. Beat Michigan State and lose to Minnesota. Makes sense.
Before we get out of here, Scott did mention, looks like the Cardinals are done adding pitching.
Oh. Yeah.
I sure hope not, but I'm still holding my breath for a trade.
How about Yamamoto?
Yeah, it's not going to happen, though,
No?
for the Cardinals, I don't think.
Okay.
You guys have actually made moves so far, so I wouldn't be complaining.
One move.
Certain team
worth
that
talking
hasn't
about.
done anything.
Did we find out after we got off the show yesterday about Ohtani's, how that was structured?
Yeah.
We should talk about that next
We can
time.
mention that as well.
Okay.
If you want to weigh in, you can. 217-359-2255 on the U of I Atlanta Link text line. Talking Big Ten basketball when we return. This is The Drive.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Speaker Mike Johnson says while he stands with Ukraine, policy when it comes to security at the southern border needs to be changed. Still, Johnson says the Senate and the White House need to come to a deal.
And I implore them to do their job.
The Senate is currently negotiating border security as part of President Biden's emergency spending package that includes billions for Ukraine, Israel, and the border.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. President Biden warning Israel could lose global support because of the war in Gaza.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has a tough decision to make. President Biden told a group of supporters at a Washington campaign fundraiser, saying the current government in Israel is the most conservative in the country's history and does not want a two-state solution. The president says while there is no question about the need to take on and defeat Hamas, Israel risks losing support from global partners because of the loss of civilian life and indiscriminate bombings. President Biden said Netanyahu has to strengthen and change the Israeli government. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
University of Pennsylvania announcing Dr. J. Larry Jameson as the interim president. It comes days after Liz McGill resigned of her backlash following a House hearing on anti-Semitism on college campuses. On Wall Street, the Dow adding 173 points, the NASDAQ gaining 101, the S&P 500 is up 21. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. The Fed creates and pops bubbles using interest rate manipulation. Why put the value of your IRA or 401k at their mercy? This is why I recommend a physical gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To get a free info kit from Birch Gold, text the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to 989898. Do it now and protect your savings.
With the holidays upon us, the increase in traveling, shopping, and connecting online also heightens the need to protect your identity and finances with LifeLock. Identity thieves see this time of year as an opportunity to drain your accounts, open new loans in your name, and damage your financial future. LifeLock detects and alerts you to the threats you might miss on your own. Don't let the busy holiday season catch you off guard. Save up to 25% off your first year with promo code CLAY. LifeLock.com, promo code CLAY.
Republicans are ramping up their impeachment inquiry into President Biden.
We have no choice. To fulfill our constitutional responsibility, we have to take the next step. We're not making a political decision. It's not. It's a legal decision.
House Speaker Mike Johnson. Republicans allege a pay-for-access scheme involving the Biden family. They suggest foreign companies hired Hunter Biden in exchange for access to his then-vice president father. Democrats call the allegations an effort to distract from Donald Trump's legal problems. The 45th president is facing an election interference trial in Washington. Trump's legal team says their client has immunity because he was serving as president at the time of alleged wrongdoing. Special counsel Jack Smith asking the Supreme Court to weigh in.
Special counsel Jack Smith essentially wants the Supreme Court to decide once and for all if the former president can be prosecuted on charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election. And Smith wants this decided quickly because Trump's trial on this matter set to begin in under 3 months. In a court filing Monday, the special counsel's office urged the Supreme Court to step in, nullify an appeals process that Trump could use to delay this trial. Now, the Supreme Court has agreed to quickly consider whether or not they'll hear this case. The court has ordered Trump's lawyers to respond to them within the next 8 days. Trump's legal team and his campaign, they are outraged over all of this, still calling the case a political witch hunt.
Fox's Mark Meredith there. U.S. inflation ticking down again last month with cheaper gas helping ease the pain of rising prices. That's according to newly released numbers from the Consumer Price Index. Fox's Edward Lawrence has details for us.
The White House is messaging this inflation report as inflation is coming down from its peak,
which is true. That peak was in June of last year. It is coming down, but prices are not falling. Prices are rising more slowly. Now, we know the CPI inflation was 3.1% year over year. Core inflation, that's without food and energy prices, was 4%.
All told, food and energy costs rising about 0.3%. Meantime, the White House praising this latest economic news. I'm Tom Graham, and this is Fox News.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana this Saturday, and this unusually mild weather pattern, but pretty much the norm for a moderate to strong El Nino weather pattern across the hemisphere continues on. No real organized moisture in sight, no real organized winter weather in sight. Temperatures continuing right around or a bit above seasonal norms and at times well above seasonal norms for the foreseeable future. Enjoy the sunshine for the day today. A certainly manageable and comfortable southwest to west breeze will top out at around 43 this afternoon. Normal high this time of the year at around 39. Increasing clouds for tonight down to 25. A little bit of a cold front will come through the area, dropping temperatures closer to the 40-degree mark tomorrow. Sun and clouds and a northwest to north wind. Bit colder, clear and 22 tomorrow night. Sunshine at 47 on Thursday. Partly sunny, 48 on Friday. Over the weekend, maybe a sprinkle and a snowflake and nothing more. On Saturday with a high up to 46 in the afternoon. Near 50 on Sunday. 40s continue on Monday and Tuesday of next week. For Stephen J. Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
It is The Drive with Sam Piper, ESPN Radio 93.5. Derek Piper, Lante, Kyle Tosk. Quick trivia, who's number 5 for the Illini?
For right now?
Or just who comes to mind when I say number 5? Darren? Not Andre Curbelo?
Oh. I'm telling you, would he just have made life easy if he just would have been as good as he was his freshman year for 4 years?
It would have been we wouldn't be talking point guard last year or this year.
Did I just see a picture of him like sitting in the stands?
You did. I brought that up because of that. He received a technical last night while sitting out on the bench, and then there's a picture of him sitting in the stands with some fans after receiving his tech. I feel bad for him, how things played out.
I do too.
The concussion and whatnot, everything that he went through. Some of it seems self-inflicted, especially still what's going on. But yeah, Curbelo was in the Twitter sphere last night for that happening.
Would you say that the concussion changed him? In other words, I don't know that medically it changed him, but ever since that,
he went through a really rough time through that for sure, and it definitely changed his ability to come back. Like he was having issues with dizziness and everything. Like when he was trying to work his way back, he's more light sensitive. That's why he wears the glasses.
Man, was he good that freshman year?
Oh, he was, especially late that season. Like how good he was in the Big Ten
tournament.
That Big
Ten tournament was ridiculous.
He was a huge piece of that team.
I've always said, like, there's weird. Sometimes it's the obvious. Like, where were you when Mark McGuire hit 62, right? Mm-hmm. Or like things like that. Those are the obvious. And by the way, I was in the TWA Dome covering the Rams and Cardinals football game. I've told you this. Tony Banks was the quarterback of the Rams in shotgun formation on like 3rd down and 8, and the TWA Dome erupts and a false start. The Rams false start when they were trying to get a first down, and it came over I looked at the guy next to me. I don't remember who it was, some media guy from St. Louis, and I said, I bet McGuire just homered. And sure enough, it comes over. Mark McGuire hits number 62.
That's awesome.
That was incredible. But here's the irony is that, and I know I've told you this before, and I know I'm getting to that point where I probably need to be off the radio because I'm repeating everything. But it was Drew and Kurt White and I, my two of my buddies, we were over in Chrisman at a bar watching that game against Ohio State, I believe, when Curbelo, didn't he go through somebody's legs the pass to get to Kofi for a dunk in that Big Ten tournament? I swear he threw it.
Did he do that in the Ohio State game?
Maybe they weren't playing Ohio State. It may have been somebody different.
I feel like he did that at Assembly Hall against Indiana.
Oh, was that it? Okay.
On the road, yeah. In overtime, Iowa had fouled out.
That's right.
And
okay.
He was so key to be able to close that game out. Yeah, he threw one, what seemed like through three defenders.
Unbelievable.
A bounce pass to Kofi to end that one.
And maybe it wasn't that particular play, but he was just so good that I'll never forget that day watching Curbelo just lead Illinois in that Big Ten tournament. He was unbelievable that year. Man, he would have answered your point guard position that you desperately need right now.
No doubt. On the note of Big Ten basketball, let's dive into this. So
Let's go.
The new AP poll came out yesterday. We talked about it, Illinois being number 16th. Purdue is top of the charts in terms of Big Ten teams, no longer the number 1 ranked team in the country thanks to Northwestern. But you have Purdue at number 3 in the top 25. You have Illinois as the second highest ranked school at 16. Two others in the top 25, 23, Wisconsin. That's what they were at the beginning of last week. They had a big win at Michigan State, but then got blasted at Arizona. So they stood pat there at 23. Northwestern has debuted in the top 25. They're 7-1. Beat Purdue. That's the big win on their resume, but they just cracked the top 25, sitting there in the 25th spot. So 4 ranked Big Ten teams. Others receiving votes. Ohio State received a couple. But for the most part, it's down in terms of how many Big Ten teams are in the top 25 or just kind of in that next realm, too. It's a quote-unquote top-heavy league, but really it's Purdue on its own tier. And that next tier is really Illinois, Wisconsin, Ohio State, and Northwestern kind of on that level as well. But
I believe, okay, that is confirmed real quick. My buddy Don sent me a thing. Brett Bielema is going to be on, is it Sports Center?
Sports Center, yeah.
At 5 o'clock our time?
Central, yep.
To chat Tommy DeVito. So,
wow,
sorry,
sweet.
Pipes.
That's
sorry.
awesome.
So that'd be kind of cool for Illinois fans to be able to tune into that. Listen, I'm buying Northwestern. And I know they beat Purdue and, oh, wow, Lon, way to go out on a limb. We have seen it for how many years where a guard is so absolutely important.
Mm-hmm.
And Northwestern with Boo Buie, I'm buying that team. They're going to be tough to beat at Welsh Ryan, and I think they've got the ability to go on the road and win some games in a conference that is not very good. So I think Northwestern, and you mentioned them. I'm not saying you omitted them, but I think that's going to be a tough battle. And Wisconsin so far looks, of course, the win over Marquette really sent ripples, I guess, especially down here to Illinois country, but it was like interesting. I don't know how to take Ohio State yet. I don't know yet.
I admittedly haven't seen enough of them, and they just blew a huge lead to Penn State and lost to them in Happy Valley. They were up 18 in the second half and ended up losing that game. Northwestern, a team that I admittedly was not completely riding off. I think they could have been, as I forecasted them in the preseason, I was like, they could be a tournament team, but do I see them in like the top 5 of the league? I wasn't there. I thought losing Chase Audige was really going to hurt them. Obviously still respected the heck out of Boo Buie and what he was able to do last year and then coming in this year. And we know that him against Purdue was unbelievable. Like, he was fantastic in that game. And, yeah, I agree. Like, in those crunch time moments, to have a guard that's been around the block and can just go and get you one is of huge value. I will say that Ryan Langborg, the transfer from Princeton to come in as a guy that can make some shots, was on that Princeton team that had a nice little run in the NCAA tournament last year. He's come in and helped to bridge the gap a little bit, or at least level off, maybe the huge loss of Audige on the perimeter from a scoring standpoint. Audige was also a pretty good defender, but Northwestern looks to be a top 5 caliber team in the Big Ten as of now, and their only loss is to Mississippi State, who's a top 30 team on KenPom, so they don't have a bad loss. Purdue's really their only great win so far.
That's a hell of a marquee win.
I mean, that's a big time one for sure.
I like Ty Berry too.
Yeah, true.
I like him. So I think he pairs well with Boo. So
and Nicholson will battle you in the paint. It's
Yeah.
not pretty offensively for him, but he's a guy that'll make it tough for you to score.
And then they have is it Barnheiser?
Yeah.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Brooks Barnheiser.
Brooks, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of buying Northwestern, but, I mean, really, it's Purdue and everybody. Now, hold on. Well, in the sense of for a title, it's Purdue and everybody else, right?
Seems that way, yeah.
But there is no doubt that Illinois is in that next tier. For sure.
For sure, yeah.
And now I don't recall even kind of a schedule and how that looks in the Big Ten.
So for Illinois, they're obviously off to a 1-0 start, getting a big win at Rutgers. When you resume Big Ten play, there's some tough ones. Your first one in January is you host Northwestern. Then you go to Purdue.
Ooh.
And then Michigan State and Maryland come to town, and then you're at Michigan. So originally you would have thought that home swing where you kind of are in the middle of January, a Thursday, Sunday, Michigan State, then Maryland, thought that was going to be a real huge test, especially with at Purdue right before that. Those two teams are not playing well. I mean, Maryland's been pathetic. Like they've been awful. One of the worst offensive teams out there at the high major level for sure, if not just in general because of how they're shooting it or not shooting it. Michigan State's struggling. I mean, what are they? Are they below 500?
Struggling, putting it nicely.
They're 4-5.
They're 4-5. They've been awful.
Maryland's 5-4 and Michigan State's 4-5. I like that we have Northwestern at home.
Yeah,
I like the idea of having them. That gives me a better thought to winning that game, obviously, and then taking your chances against Purdue.
Right,
man, you could be 2 up on Purdue if you can win that game.
Yeah, no doubt, and that would be a massive. I think. Kind of to zoom out from Illinois' standpoint, and I've wanted to dive into this, I think Illinois needs to beat Purdue once, at least, to have the type of seed that they really want to have. Like, if you want to talk about Illinois having a 3 seed, a 4 seed, I'm not saying there are obviously a number of different outcomes in terms of if Illinois beat everybody on their schedule other than Purdue the rest of the way, then obviously they'd probably be in a decent spot.
Right.
But in terms of like the real needle-moving wins potential on your schedule, it's changed with how Michigan State has been bad, how Maryland has been just not even a tournament team caliber up to this point. I think that will, and not being able to beat one of Marquette or Tennessee, I'm not devaluing the FAU win at all, but that will be one of those wins that could really mean a lot. Because I am fearful otherwise, not that Illinois will risk not making the tournament or anything, but in terms of really being able to bolster your resume, these other teams not playing well, like Michigan State not even being like right now, and things can change. Imagine this, like as far as the quad 1, quad 2, what have you, a win at East Lansing right now would be a quad 2 win. A win at Maryland right now would be a quad 3 win. Like that's a throwaway.
Holy cow.
Like not even doesn't even do anything for you.
I wouldn't even go play it.
Playing Michigan State on your home floor, a quad 3, like. You only, as of right now, have 4 quad 1 chances between now and the end of February.
Wow.
Now, you'd have 3 in early March at Wisconsin, home against Purdue, and we'll see if this one stands as a quad 1 at Iowa. Iowa has really fallen off.
Yeah, they're 0-2
here lately. But because the league is down, and really down as you get past that top 4, it's not doing Illinois favors as you try to build up your tournament resume.
We actually talked about this while you were out east. Kyle and I mentioned this, not as in depth, but we discussed why you needed to get a win against either Florida Atlantic or Tennessee. Because in my mind, you needed to pick up a top 20 win. You didn't get it against Marquette. Doesn't hurt you, but you didn't get it against Marquette, obviously. Mm-hmm. And the win at Rutgers, the way you did it was very impressive, but I don't know that anybody on the committee is going to care about that come March.
It's going to jump back and forth. Like 2 days ago, it was considered a fringe quad 1. Today, it's a quad 2. Most likely, it's in my opinion, it's probably going to end up being a quad 2.
Okay. So if Illinois finishes, let's say they finish second in this conference, but don't beat Purdue, then I guess at that point, you probably had a win against Wisconsin that is good, probably a win against Northwestern that's decent. Indiana's 2-0. Are they going to be ranked soon? Or
no?
You don't think so? They're 7-2 overall.
Got blown out by 30 against Auburn over the weekend.
Oh, that's right. So really, in that scenario, if you did not beat Purdue, you might have a good win against Wisconsin and Northwestern.
And Ohio State, potentially.
Oh, and Ohio State, and then FAU.
Yeah.
And Missouri?
I don't think that win's going to matter a ton.
Colgate?
No. Just don't lose that one. That's one of those that won't help you a lot, but obviously could hurt you a lot.
Yeah, it's weird to think that you could do all this damage with piling up wins. Like, wins now in college basketball is almost like wins in Major League Baseball for pitchers. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. The number of wins, like it used to be like the...
Oh, if you hit 20.
Yeah, 20 wins was a tournament appearance and whatnot. I'm not worried about Illinois making the tournament.
Okay.
It's more about how much can you improve your seeding, because a big part of getting where you want to go in the tournament, getting that Sweet 16, is setting up a really nice path for yourself. And I feel like while it's kind of funny to sit back on your couch and watch, and admittedly I kind of do this and get caught into it as well. Like, Michigan State loses at Nebraska. You kind of think that's look at what Michigan State's going through. This is kind of funny, especially as somebody that's sat there and said Izzo was an idiot for not going to the portal last year, let alone this year as well, and getting a big man. As he's trying to say right now, well, our centers are so bad, I might play my son at center. Like, for them going through that, for Iowa to be bad, for Maryland to be down, for Indiana to be a team that the analytics hate and doesn't even shoot threes. Like, as you start piling this all up, you're hurting Illinois' chances, where if these teams were good and Illinois beat them, it matters so much more than just saying, okay, Illinois ran through this, what's going to be viewed as a soft schedule for the most part in the Big Ten. The wins aren't going to matter as much than the quality of wins if those teams were good.
If you beat Purdue once, is that enough to pair with an FAU win, maybe a Wisconsin win, and an Ohio State, let's say, Northwestern? If you beat Purdue, you basically have two elite-level wins, right? Again, I'm calling FAU elite because I think they, in the end, will be one of the top 4 seeds in the NCAA tournament. And you beat them. So if you are able to beat Purdue once, how much ground does that make up on everything you're concerned about now?
It's going to help for sure. Yeah, if FAU is a top 15 team, I mean, it's a definite quad one. It's obviously quad one. And then Purdue, I mean, your resume would look better actually if you won at Mackey versus if you beat them at home. But obviously it'd be a great win regardless.
Right.
Split with Purdue, and then avoid bad losses.
Fair enough.
That you got to obviously take that into account as well. So that's something that you've got to kind of manage. If this team, which we expected going into the year to be more steady because they're older, because they got more proven guys than last year's team, if they avoid the slip-ups to teams they shouldn't lose to, and then win at Wisconsin, like you said, split with Purdue, beat Ohio State, then they should be in a really nice spot, because they're not going to – the losses in the early portion of the schedule to Tennessee and Marquette will not hurt you at all. And then if you can take care of teams that you should and have a Purdue win to add to you, then you should be just fine and probably be able to get a nice landing spot. I don't know for certain right now. Could you get a 4 seed? Could you get a 5 seed? We'll see how it plays out.
Right.
But yeah, I think that there is something to be said for the urgency to beat Purdue once. Not to throw it all on that, but it would help you a ton in a year where going in you would have said, well, we got Purdue twice, who's a top 5 team. We got Michigan State twice, who's a top 5, even though if you were skeptical about them sticking there, they were probably going to be a top 15 team in a lot of people's minds going into this season. Maryland's supposed to be pretty good. They're going to be a ranked team. You're going to get them on the road. And without Michigan State and Maryland being good, and then just kind of the lack of depth throughout this league, and I know that a texter mentioned, can you even get to 6 that you feel good about in terms of tournament teams?
Yeah, that's true.
That's another one, because let's do it right now. Illinois, Purdue, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Northwestern is 5, Who would be next in line, number 6?
As of now, I don't think anyone is positioned themselves to be a tournament team outside of those 5.
You would have said, in terms of net rankings, looks like Iowa's is next up at 65th.
Iowa's not making the tournament.
Nebraska at 67th in the net. Michigan at 66th in the net. Michigan State's 83rd in the net.
Wow. Where's Indiana?
Indiana's 123rd.
Man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And this was a league that you go back to the season Illinois was a 1 seed. They got like 10 teams in. Illinois had 12 quad 1 wins that year, which led all of the country. And it helped that they got so many opportunities because the Big Ten was thought to be that good, and on paper it was until a lot of teams flamed out early that year. But because they got so many chances, they could build up an elite resume. The rest of these other teams struggling the way they are has taken some of that away from Illinois potentially. Now, again, I mean, they go on a heck of a run in Big Ten play. If they go like 16-4 in league, you're not going to have a problem.
Which they very well could.
Or 17-3, whatever. I mean, that's hard to do, obviously.
I'm with you, but I think this is the kind of team that can sustain a good level of play day in and day out. Like, I don't think they look great at Tennessee, but I think Tennessee had a lot to do with that. And you're not facing Tennessee when you're facing Maryland and Ohio State and some of these. I think this Illinois team is the kind of team that could run off and only lose 3, maybe Big Ten. I mean, if you split with Purdue, I don't know why you wouldn't lose more than 3 in the Big Ten. Maybe at Wisconsin if they play there, and maybe at Northwestern.
You play Wisconsin once, and it is at Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
You play with Northwestern twice in January, early portion. You host them.
So you only have one shot against Wisconsin.
Only one. Yep.
Only one against Ohio State too.
It's true.
You only
That's
get one
there
shot
on the road.
Wow. So both of those are on the road, which in the end could help you if you win.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that helps you. That makes it look even better.
Yes.
That's just crazy.
I want to get Kyle's take on this before we catch a break.
I honestly don't.
One thing that Brad kind of complained about or mentioned last year was that they only had one quad 1 game on their home floor last year, the entire year. It was against Indiana, and they lost it. So that shows, like, you want those opportunities on your home floor because you should, if you're a really good team, you should win on your home floor.
Win at home.
And you want to play good teams on your home floor where you get a chance to have a win that actually matters. Illinois in the Big Ten slate right now only has one game that would be a quad 1 win, and that's senior night, March 5th against Purdue.
Can I say this, though? I mean, that's a little bit of Crimea River because
you're
in a Big Ten that sucks. I mean, essentially, I don't know that it sucks. But
I get what you're saying.
He always says that it's the toughest league in the country in the preseason.
Right.
So, I mean.
And how many teams are in that same spot, though? I mean, a lot of when you take some of the best teams, like FAU, well, we played them in New York. Mm-hmm. And some of these teams that were in Maui, I mean, that's not a home game. So, I mean, I see where he's coming from there, but that's more of the Big Ten's fault than it is.
No, for sure.
And I'm not yelling at you, but I just think that's a little bit of I don't know. I cringe at that.
You had a marquee win opportunity in your home court
You
against
did.
Marquette and didn't get it.
You totally did.
Hey, guys, stop attacking me. I'm just kidding.
Poor Derek's like, Gemini.
There is something to be said for, like, I'm not saying that Illinois should blame that for the reason of not getting where they want to go this year. But it is a disadvantage.
That's true.
Let's compare it to Tennessee. So Tennessee, who obviously Illinois just played, and Illinois was competitive in that game. If you look at their schedule, they're going to play Alabama at home. They're going to play South Carolina at home. We'll see if that sticks. That's not going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
They're 28th in the net. That's not going to happen. You also look at Auburn, Texas A&M, and Kentucky's kind of a fringe. Those are all examples of quad 1 or Kentucky just on the outside, potential quad 1 games at home for those teams. And just kind of like, even if you just take away the home portion of it, they're going to have in the SEC a lot more opportunities to get quad 1 wins than if you're in the Big Ten because of the standings of those teams. And the other, kind of the flip side of that is, let's say Michigan State, which they are, having very much a down year, but it's you still go to the is zone, and maybe they need one, and you lose, well, all of a sudden that's a quad 2 loss versus if Michigan State would have maybe handled their business and played up to their potential, or if they however you want to say it, and they were better positioned than that, then a quad 1 loss doesn't matter near as much as if you go, oh well, Michigan State's been bad this year, but the ISZone, it's tough. You went there and lost. So.
Right. Well, again, that's more of a product of 70% of your games are going to be against a conference, and there's nothing you can do to change that. Mm-hmm. So if your conference is not good one year, then unfortunately your chances of winning at home.
Yeah.
I mean, next year, I know they have Tennessee here. Do we go to – no, that Marquette game was – they had come here.
That was the Gavitt games.
Oh, that's right. That wasn't a home and home. My fault. So really, I mean, next year is there?
We'll see. There's a lot
just
still to
don't
be
know,
played out in terms of what the schedule looks like. And look, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, kind of my grand overall point is that number one, Illinois fans should be rooting for Rutgers the rest of the way. You want Rutgers to be a quad 1 win. You want them to win enough so that win looks good. And in general, it's not a good thing. Well, I think it can be kind of programmed in your mind. Well, it's easy now for Illinois to finish second in the Big Ten because of the way these other teams are looking, which there's some fairness in that statement, but also it's going to hurt Illinois' resume potential because these teams have not played well.
Makes sense.
Kyle, what say you?
I totally agree. And the other thing, and you kind of alluded to it, is that you're going to have off nights throughout league play, and those are going to hurt you. If you go, like you said, if you go on the road to some of these teams that, I mean, they're down, but they're still, I feel like a Michigan and a Michigan State and an Indiana, they could beat you any given night, especially if you go on the road.
Sure.
And now those are going to be considered, quote-unquote, bad losses if you drop one on a night where you shoot 2 for 25 from 3. So that is another factor. But I just think Illinois just needs to win as many games as possible.
Amen.
And that should solve.
Yeah.
Where would you guys floor and ceiling Illinois with regards to an NCAA seeding? Where would the ceiling be? You beat Purdue twice, or you beat. Let's say
that could change a lot. Obviously, yeah.
Let's say you split with Purdue, and you have a really good Big Ten slate, and you don't lose again in the non-con. 3 seed.
If you win the Big Ten or share a regular season title and then, aren't an early exit in the Big Ten tournament, because the Big Ten tournament's a chance to add some more wins on there, you could be a 3.
Okay. And then if they have the kind of year we expect, where they finish top 4 in the Big Ten, they've got the win over FAU. Let's say you don't lose again in the non-conference.
6?
Yeah.
5, 6?
I think it's lower than 5. Because of that, because of what you just said and what you said, Pipes, in the sense that, whoops, we lost at Nebraska. Well, guess what? That's not going to look good for you.
Yeah, you don't play her this year, at least.
Oh, okay, well, that is good then. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't see this team being an 8 seed like it was last year, a 9 or whatever. Wasn't FAU a 9?
Yep.
And we were too, right?
Yeah, they were one of the teams that you were looking at that you might match up with.
That's right. Wow, and they made it all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Should have lost to Memphis. Memphis should have went to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would have looked like a genius.
I know we got to catch a break. Before you send us off to a break, though, Kyle, can you play me a little music?
Sure. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Just play me some music, big boy. Because I'm going to tell you about Pia Claus. It's coming up at Pia's this week. How about Thursday night from 5:30 to 9, and then Friday morning from 7 to 10 a.m., gifts for all. There's free holiday food. There's going to be drink specials. I'm sure there'll be music. There's always the gaming right there at Pia's, right along that wall that every time I go in is absolutely full. Pia's is just awesome. Their fries are great. Their food is great. What are some of the things, Derek, that you and I, every time we're going to eat at Pia's, and then every time we never get a chance because we're doing the show, like their big burgers.
Slugger burger,
the
yeah.
Slugger burger.
Yeah,
that's what
their
it
fries
was.
are good.
Oh, their fries are really good. They've got like a Cajun fry.
Yeah.
Oh, you could just order that alone.
True.
I know that's probably not the healthiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can have too much of one thing. Like you need, if you have fries, you got to kind of have a burger to kind of mix it up a little bit. I've been in there before where I'll just get a couple draft beers and just get some fries. Oh, they're Cajun fries, man. I love. So Pia's, man, they're the place to be this Thursday night, 5:30 to 9, and then Friday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. It's Pia Claus, and they are giving away gifts. They're giving away food. There's drink specials. Go and get your Christmas on at Pia's with Pia Claus. I wonder if is Santa there?
Cannot confirm or deny.
He's a busy guy. He's starting to get busy. Going to be busy. I watched Rudolph over the weekend.
Did you?
I did.
I finally got
my 6-year-old.
There you go.
Lante.
Doesn't it make you? It gives you that nostalgia. I love that about Christmas.
It totally does.
Yep.
Burl Ives and the whole crew back in the day. Oh yeah.
I need to watch Christmas Vacation. We had Elf on last night when we finally got our Christmas tree up. So
Santa.
It's good.
That when he goes into the store. The manager of the store is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's so excited. And you know, that dude is like, what is wrong with you, man? He's like, well, Santa's coming. Santa's coming? Oh, Will Ferrell, man.
He's great.
He is good in that. That's one of his better performances.
What's the must-watch Christmas movie? Putting it out to the text line, 217-359-2255 on the U of I Illini Link text line. We'll talk about that when we come back. It is The Drive.
Illini fans, gear up to support your Fighting Illini men's and women's basketball team this year at the official fan store of the Fighting Illini, Game Day Spirit. From buy one, get one free basketball t-shirts to official NIL merchandise, Game Day Spirit has everything you need to support your Fighting Illini. Shop with them in store at the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, 6th and Green in Campus Town, or online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
I'm Justin Ike, co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground.
So, Justin, tell me what you see as typical when it comes to sewer repair. Give me a scenario.
Your sewer's backed up and somebody comes along and says, you need this repair for X amount of dollars. Here's my price. And you don't think to go looking for another company or a second opinion because you don't feel like you have time.
So is it possible that you might get charged a little more because it's kind of a desperate moment? Do some companies do that?
Oh, absolutely they will. They know you're in a pinch. Typically, if you call us, me or Will can be out there within an hour to look at that problem for you. Whether you call me first or you call me second, make sure you give me a call.
Anything else, Justin?
You can always trust Fred's.
Great to know. Thank you. That's Justin Ike, the co-owner of Fred's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Electric, and Underground. If you want more information about this great 45-year family-owned company, just go to fredscu.com. That's fredscu.com.
You moved into your new home using 2 men in a truck. The garage was clean. Then,
I love the new recliner. What are we going to do with this old one?
Put it in the garage for now.
over time, this cycle continued.
Garage for now. Put it in the garage for now. Put it in the garage for now. Put it in the garage for now.
It happens. You got junk. Call 2 Men in a Truck to get rid of all your junk. Residential or commercial, 2 Men in a Truck has a solution for your junk removal. Contact them at 2menchampagne.com.
2 men in a truck.
Have you ever wondered why you pay your bank to have a checking account with them? We do too. At Fisher National Bank, we offer free checking accounts that reward you to bank with us. Our Rewards Cashback Checking offers 2.02% cash back on debit card purchases up to $500 monthly. No service fees or balance requirements needed to earn rewards. For a free checking account that pays you back, simply make 12 debit card purchases, receive electronic statements, and have one direct deposit within a monthly cycle. It's so simple. We bet you're doing most of these things already. With Rewards Cashback Checking, you have access to Reward Saver, which earns 4.07 annual percentage yield on balances up to $20,000. Reward yourself with free rewards cashback checking and Reward Saver, a few of the many ways Fisher National Bank invests in our customers. See monthly requirements at any branch or FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank. Exceptional communities, exceptional people. Member FDIC.
Carl works every day to improve the health of community members across the region, and it would not be possible without team members like Sierra Poole, phlebotomy lab lead at Carl Foundation Hospital.
I love working at Carl because of the togetherness among the phlebotomy team and the opportunity to advance within the department.
If you're looking for an opportunity to serve your community like Sierra in a supportive environment with opportunities for growth, visit carl.org/careers.
Looking to supercharge your business with digital marketing? Hi, I'm Stevie J, and in 40 years of radio, one thing has remained the same. We deliver real results for our clients, and your business is our business too. I'm excited to announce Stevie J Digital, your digital marketing partner. Aside from our tried and true radio campaigns, we offer website building, social media management, search engine optimization, search marketing, logo design, and brand management. Our expert digital marketing team is here to maximize your online potential and help grow your business. That means our web developers will create a stunning, user-friendly website that leaves a lasting impression on your visitors. So the secret to growing your business in 2024 is an email away. Contact Diane.Ducey, Diane.Ducey at sjbroadcasting.com, and let us show you what we're offering on digital marketing in 2024. That's Diane.Ducey, Ducey at sjbroadcasting.com.
Kyle's a bully.
Die Hard is winning the day.
Really?
Getting a lot of diehards on the U of I Atlanta Link text line.
Never understood that.
Me neither. It's not a Christmas movie.
Oh, Kyle, you're going to rouse some people up. I haven't seen it in a while. It's been a while.
Oh, it's been a long time for me as well. Maybe that I need to go back and watch it and be fair to, but it's amazing how many people love Die Hard every year, and I just don't. I think I'm more of a traditionalist. So Christmas Vacation, easily my favorite. It's a Wonderful Life would be number 2. Gosh, probably Polar Express 3. I know that's kind of a weird one for me to throw in there, but I just kind of enjoy that. I kind of like that movie. I kind of like the premise of it. I thought Tom Hanks was really good in it.
Yeah.
That'd probably be my top 3.
I like it.
And you still have Elf.
Elf's a really good one, man.
What's the one you like?
I love Four Christmases.
Four Christmases.
Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. I love that one. It's one of my favorites.
Vince Vaughn is funny. The other day, a wedding. What was it? Wedding Planner.
Yeah, I think that is he in that one.
Is he with Owen Wilson? Or no?
Oh, Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
That was on, and I didn't watch but maybe 5 minutes of it, but it was so funny. Those two, like the idea of what they do in that, and then they're planning for the biggest wedding, and Owen's like, man, I just feel like we need to take a break. And Vince Vaughn comes in and goes, Rule 7. Rule 7 stay, and Owen's like, I know what Rule 7 is. It's just kind of a fun, whoever wrote that is that's pretty good.
Oh, it was awesome.
That was pretty funny.
That didn't slide past me, though. I know you just watched The Wedding Planner with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey.
No, I didn't see that. Although J-Lo,
yeah,
I've always said, what age does J-Lo have to be for me to have a shot? So, think about it. If she's 90 and I'm 88, do I have a shot at J-Lo?
She's only 2 years older than you?
I don't know. She's not that. Well, she's probably what, 57? She's probably like 4 years older.
Is she that old?
Is she,
Not to say it like that.
Well,
she's 54.
Oh, well then she's a year older than me. We're meant for each other. That was destined.
That's right.
Do you see Matt Damon? They might be a Bourne movie out again. Bourne
right?
6.
Really?
Let's go. I love that series.
There you go.
That was a weird series, though, when all of a sudden the one dude played Jason Bourne. What's his name? He got hurt on the... Yeah, I'll think of it. Renner?
Oh, he was in one of the...
Mike Renner?
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy, yeah.
He was in one of the Bourne movies, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like, where'd that come from?
I love Jeremy Renner, though.
He is good. I like him.
He says on the U of I Atlanta League text line, my wife would definitely say Home Alone. You know what's funny? My wife knows that I love Home Alone, so she like messes with me and says, Home Alone's not a Christmas movie. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I heard on another station one day that they were going through the items that Kevin was his name, right?
Yeah.
That he bought at the grocery store. And it goes through all these items, and at the time, it cost him like $18. Today, it would have cost like $70 for the items that he bought.
Yeah, just like the packet of Army Men was probably going to be $18.
Right. I need to go back and see Home Alone.
It's for the kids, he says.
And he was, that's what I looked like at that age. I mean, I literally looked, everybody says I could have been Kevin McCauley or what's his name? McAllister. Who's the actual actor?
Macaulay Culkin.
Macaulay Culkin. I put his character name and that together.
Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2?
I like the original.
First one.
Yeah.
Kyle, you have an opinion? Have you even seen them or those?
Oh,
two,
no.
Two past your...
Home Alone's my favorite.
Okay.
Is it really?
My favorite Christmas movie. But
the first one?
I think I probably would lean towards the original just slightly, although I really like 2 also.
I'm a Home Alone 2 guy. I love the first one, but I think Home Alone 2 is my favorite.
Coach Baker's on to something here. Home Alone date night for J-Lo and Lon.
Nice.
Little popcorn. I'll sing some Christmas carols. It's beginning to look.
Well, you could pick her up in August. She'd still be singing Christmas carols.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That might be damaging to me at that point. I may have to hide that when she looks back through my Spotify playlist in August and she's like, are you really listening to Barry Williams like It's a Wonderful Time? What? It's the most wonderful time.
Christmas Story from You Can Call Me Sal says it's up there.
That is.
I haven't been a huge Christmas Story guy.
Never have.
Same with me.
Jeremy Warner loves that show.
So does my wife.
Is that the one they show continuously on TBS?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Warner loved that show. And there's moments in there that are funny.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. It's not my favorite.
Right. Same here. Isn't that funny how you could get, just people have different things. Christmas Vacation, though. Come on. It's that time. Oh, let's go.
I don't know where we're going from here, but
I don't either.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Well, we need to take another break, according to Kyle. Kyle, you're leaving Thursday? Thursday's your last?
For like a month. Yep, I'm going on break.
So we're just not doing a show for a month? Is that what we're doing?
We will still have a show.
That's how Lon would like it, right?
That is correct. We are taking the week between Christmas and New Year's off.
Yes.
We've never taken that entire week, but we're going to do that this year. You have a young little guy, Cade, at home that you'd like to spend time with, and, of course, another on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just don't like to work anymore. It's really, there's no romantic thing about me needing a week off between Christmas.
You could have made something up.
I wonder, when does Andrew play that week? I might head to Florida.
You and Andrew and Lucas going on like an ice fishing trip
you
do every year?
Yeah, take the, go up to Minnesota and just ice fish. Oh, what did Randy say? No.
I would not read that one.
Actually, I've got to work the office, so I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here, but it'd be nice just to have afternoons off,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of enjoy it like the rest of the world. Listen to us. Like, I love when I go on that tangent.
No, don't do that.
Like, there's not people working right now till 5. Like, I act like everybody gets off at 3. but yet then I'm the only one that then has to work from 3 to 5. So I just woe is me pity party this thing. And people are like, Lon, I'm literally at the office listening to you, you know. Suits, by the way, those guys, do they ever work in the day? Have you ever noticed that? You haven't gotten on Suits yet.
I haven't, no.
Band of Brothers, you haven't gotten on that?
No.
Peaky Blinders, no.
I'm terrible at watching shows.
When you have your next baby, which is coming up.
Yeah, it is.
And
it
you
is.
get the night shift where you're just kind of holding the bottle or just rocking. You know, you need to get involved in some of these.
Okay.
The Peaky Blinders, that was a good one. That did.
Pretty solid.
Joel, Lon has the afternoon off 3 times a week. Hey, I usually make it 4 times here, don't I? I usually am here 4 times a week. By the way, I think I'm taking Thursday off.
And let's catch a break. We'll wrap the show after this. It is The Drive.
If you're in the market for a new car battery, you could go to one of those big box stores, except there's no guarantee you'll be served by an actual car expert.
Clean up in aisle 3.
You could pick a battery off the shelf, except it might be close to expiring. Or you could just come into Interstate. Don't make a big box store blunder. With competitive prices and a more personal, reliable approach, Interstate Batteries is the clear-cut choice if you want to guarantee yourself a new and trustworthy car battery. They're open and ready to serve you at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign.
Crossroads Contractor Supply specializes in the delivery of tools and supplies within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana. Reliable, timely, and with reasonable prices, Crossroads Contractor Supply knows what equipment and tools are needed for your job. Their slogan, we have it when you need it. Get the job done right with proper tools and equipment. Did something break? Construction materials as well as safety equipment, all available. Call 402-8123. Visit CrossroadsContractorSupplyIL.com.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you can save an average of $889. The Brian Hansen State Farm Agency is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Champaign-Urbana. Call 217-344-1900 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual household savings based on 2019 National Survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to connect communities through financial outreach and economic opportunity. Building a stronger, more vibrant community, Busey offers tools and resources to individuals, families, and business owners to achieve financial success. Building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey Bank, member FDIC. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
When it comes to finding a reliable vehicle, look no further than Sarah Champagne, your trusted automotive destination. They carry a lineup of top brands including Honda, BMW, Subaru, GMC, and Buick. And they're not just about cars, they're about people. Their team is dedicated to providing you with trustworthy service and dependable vehicles that fit your lifestyle. Experience the difference at Sarah Champagne. Visit Sarah, S-E-R-R-A, champagne.com.
Bills Miami Dolphins man. What's up?
We were 6 minutes away.
Are the Hard Knocks cameras getting to their heads?
Oh, boy. Isn't Tennessee pretty one-dimensional? Will Levis. Is he the most buff quarterback out there? He's got some pipes on him. He's got some pipes. Well, like,
good question.
Pipes to a lot of people would mean good voice, but
yeah,
he's got some solid arms.
Sure. Jalen Hurts is built pretty well.
Yes,
I think
he is.
Who
That's
else?
a great point.
Dak probably has some.
Yeah, he does.
He's playing unbelievable.
Yeah, he's answering the bell right now.
Is there still that? I imagine there's that lingering Cowboys are going to cowboy, but I kind of feel like this could be the year for them. That's like the least scalding hot take out there because they're playing unbelievable. They won 5 in a row. I'm not stumbling upon anything. I know in this business you're supposed to be like, I'm all in on Dallas winning the Super Bowl this year, which I'm kind of like. It looks like they could obviously do it,
Well,
but
the world is, that's for sure.
What I'm asking is, are we getting past the Dallas is going to Dallas, or is that still in the back of our minds?
Before I answer that, Derek Piper actually texted the show and said
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah. He's built.
Good point.
I don't think they're going to cowboy this year. I think they are for real. And that win over the Eagles, I mean, that to me was the exclamation point of we are a team to be reckoned with. I don't think there's any doubt. Philly dropped to 5th. Is that right? In the seedings?
So they would be the first wild card then.
I just hope somebody beats San Francisco.
Well, you've got 3 teams, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners, that are all 10-3.
Oh, wow. Well, then they couldn't drop to
Well, yeah, because they're in the same division as Dallas.
Yeah, it's a good call.
I don't know what gives the Cowboys the edge. They've split in head-to-heads, but maybe is it in-division record or anything like that?
Yep.
And then somebody's got to – what am I forgetting here?
So –
your division. The Bears division.
Yeah, the Lions as of right now.
Yeah.
Still 9-4.
So they'd be 4th?
They would be 3rd. You'd have whoever's first between Dallas and the Niners. I think the Niners.
Oh, that's right.
Niners beat them. Does that give them head-to-head? I always forget what the tiebreakers are. Let's say Niners and Cowboys top 2, then the Lions, whoever's going to win the South, which right now is the Bucs, I believe. Both the Bucs and Falcons are 6-7, but the Bucs have beat them twice.
Wow, the South.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints have fallen hard. Derek Carr's been terrible this year.
Yes, he has.
Terrible.
The AFC South is bad.
Yeah.
Although Houston's not
Although
bad.
the Jags are having a
Well,
pretty
that's
good year.
true. Jacksonville is doing well.
Well, they've lost 2 in a row, though. They're 8-5.
Yeah.
How about my Bears, though? 5-8, not out of it. They had on.
They made the in the hunt graphic.
Yeah, weren't they like?
Yes!
Was this before or after they won? There was a graphic out there where they were like the 1% to make the playoffs. Was that before or after they beat the Lions?
That is
might have been before.
That's like my favorite graphic of the year.
Yes,
because they used to always show it, and down in that lower right-hand corner would be the Cardinals. I'm like, you're telling me we got a chance. So you got the Bears. You know you got a winnable game against Arizona.
Yep.
On Christmas Eve.
That's right.
Who else do you play?
We play. So we're at
Green
the Browns coming up this week.
You'll beat them.
Then we host the Cardinals. We host the Falcons, and we're at the Packers.
Woo! I think you're running the table.
If we can beat Joe Flacco and the Browns.
Did the Browns win this week with Flacco?
They did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Over the Jaguars.
How old is Joe Flacco? 37?
It's not a terrible guess.
I mean, I feel like he ought to be 54.
He's 38.
38, okay.
Yep.
I'm telling you, the Bears
If
have a
they
legit...
win that game, yeah, they got a chance.
By the way, Aaron Lemming from the Bear Report is going to join us tomorrow at 3:30. I'm efforting Trevor Valise tomorrow as well.
Nice. I just want you guys, I want to remind you guys that I have not wavered. I have been Team Justin Fields this whole time.
You have.
I'm not saying that today is not the day to tell you that I was right, but I like where things are trending, and I am sticking to that. Even though if we get number 1, I get it, whatnot. I believe if you put the right pieces around him, that can be your guy. I will say, as my last note before we talk more Bears tomorrow,
He's dynamic.
He's